typing the words build the thing into an AI feels like absolute magic, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, completely.
But it's actually a trap.
It is a massive trap. Honestly, it's the absolute fastest way to manufacture software bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And you do it with total, unwavering confidence.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're unpacking something incredibly fundamental today. Beat. It is April 2026.
Hard to believe, right?
Right. And we are looking at a brilliant article by Max Ann today.
Yeah, we're exploring the official developer workflow for Claude Code. This system was built by an engineer named Boris Cherny.
We're really guiding you through a massive paradigm shift today. We're moving far away from the era of clever prompting.
Exactly right. I mean, clever prompting is completely dead.
Yeah.
We're finally entering the era of architectural discipline.
And we'll walk you through 5 specific actionable steps today. These steps turn your AI from a disposable chatbot into a custom operating system.
It's just a complete reframing of how you interact with the machine. You aren't just giving it tasks anymore. You're building an environment for it to succeed.
So let's talk about the blueprints. You can't build a solid architecture without looking at them first.
Right, and that's exactly where the first major failure happens.
The biggest mistake developers make actually happens before they write a single line.
Yeah.
It's a trap we call reactive coding.
And reactive coding feels like you're making real progress. You jump right into the terminal. You start generating code immediately.
Because it's fun.
Right. But you're really just creating a massive mess for yourself later.
You end up reacting to a cascade of issues. You're not planning for them at all. Beat. That brings us to our first major shift.
This is a big one.
Yeah. Boris Cherny starts 80% of his sessions in plan mode.
80%. That number should really stop you in your tracks.
Seriously.
He is the engineer who actually built the tool, and he spends almost all his time planning.
To access this mode, you simply hit Shift and Tab twice.
It forces the strategic thinking to happen before the actual building starts. Plan mode uses multi-model reasoning to actually verify your logic.
Let's unpack that for a second, because multi-model reasoning sounds incredibly dense.
Oh, sure. It just means having different AI models check each other's work.
Got it.
One model drafts a plan, and another model tries to find the holes in it.
So it aggressively stops you from rushing ahead blindly.
Exactly.
You use a very specific setup prompt here. You have Claude ask you about the fundamental problem you're solving.
You meticulously define the intended user. You establish the specific success metrics. You figure out exactly what victory looks like.
And critically, you define the anti-goals. You tell the AI what it should explicitly avoid doing. 2-sec silence. I'm looking at this setup and, I get setting goals.
Right.
But the intense focus on anti-goals feels slightly counterintuitive. Why is defining an anti-goal sometimes more important than defining the actual goal?
Because it prevents confident hallucination.
Which means the AI smoothly generating completely wrong but plausible answers.
Exactly. Large language models are fundamentally people pleasers.
Yeah, they really are.
If you don't set strict negative boundaries, the AI just fills in the blanks. It guesses what you want, and it usually guesses wrong.
It creates code that looks perfect but fails structurally.
Right. Think about assembling a complex piece of furniture.
Okay.
If you don't look at the instructions, you might build something resembling a chair.
Sure.
But the moment you sit on it, the entire thing collapses. The anti-goals are the instructions telling you which screws absolutely do not belong together.
Right. Telling it what to avoid prevents expensive and frustrating wrong turns.
You map out the entire minefield before you walk through it. It saves you hours of expensive refactoring later.
So we've carefully mapped the logic. We have a solid plan. Now we need some basic ground rules for the environment. Beat.
This leads us directly to the code..md file.
Yeah, this is basically Claude's standing cheat sheet. The model reads this specific file at the start of every single chat. You might think you should give the AI a massive legal document, but the real secret here is ruthless minimalism.
People tend to treat this file like a dusty storage unit. They hoard rules.
They really do. They create this massive, overly anxious rulebook.
Yep.
They throw every single edge case they've ever encountered into it.
And that directly causes instruction drift.
Which is simply the AI getting lost in too many contradictory rules.
The model only has so much attention to give.
Right.
If you feed it a 500-line markdown file of strict rules, the token weighting gets completely diluted.
It loses focus.
Exactly. It starts ignoring the core task because it's terrified of violating some obscure formatting rule from 6 months ago.
The elite developer workflow in 2026 approaches this entirely differently.
Yeah.
You must keep this file under 100 lines.
Under 100 lines. That requires incredible discipline.
Yeah, it does.
It forces you to only include the absolute most critical project DNA.
2-sec silence.
Mm.
I have to admit something vulnerable here.
Oh.
I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. Oh yeah. I get anxious when a model fails.
Yeah.
And I just start endlessly adding rules to the file. It's a really hard habit to break.
We all do that. It is completely human nature.
Right.
We want to feel in control of the machine's output. When something breaks, our instinct is to build a taller fence. But in this new era, taller fences just block the AI's view.
The article suggests a brilliant cleanup prompt tactic to fix this. You actively ask Claude to review the file and delete outdated or conflicting information.
Or you go nuclear and just burn it down completely.
Just delete it.
Yeah, you delete the entire file to remove legacy friction.
But wait, if we just delete the file, aren't we losing the fundamental project DNA we've worked so hard on?
Not at all. You have to remember that these underlying models improve constantly over time.
Oh, true.
What used to require strict, explicit rules is now handled entirely naturally by the model's base intelligence.
The AI just understands standard best practices better now.
Exactly. Storing old rules doesn't add clarity anymore. It just adds friction. It's like leaving training wheels on a motorcycle. It actively prevents the machine from leaning into the curves.
So fewer rules actually force better AI alignment and less confusion.
Spot on. You want a beautifully sharp tool, not a bloated corporate policy manual.
Okay, let's look at where we are. We've planned the core code, we've burned down the rule book and set lean boundaries. Now, how do you actually trust the output it gives you?
You don't.
Oh.
You absolutely never blindly trust the output. You force the AI to check its own work.
This is the concept of self-verifying loops.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's quietly the most powerful idea in this entire article.
It is brilliant because it mimics senior engineering behavior. You give Claude a tangible tool to inspect its own output.
You give it direct access to a browser or a test runner.
Right. You don't just say, write this function. You say, write this function, run the test suite, read the error logs, and fix it until it passes.
And this seemingly simple feedback loop creates a massive 3x lift in output quality.
A 3 times quality improvement. It fundamentally shifts the AI from being a passive writer to an active participant.
Whoa. Just imagine the AI catching its own bugs in the dark before it even reaches your terminal. That's genuinely incredible.
It completely changes your relationship with the machine.
Yeah.
It's the difference between reviewing a messy first draft and approving a polished final product.
You implement this by using a reusable cleanup prompt. You explicitly tell Claude to recheck all the work it just completed.
You have it independently ensure that all best practices were followed. You force it to confirm that no weird structural complications were introduced.
I'm thinking about edge cases here, though.
Okay.
What if you're working on something abstract where there isn't a simple test runner or a clear visual layout to inspect?
That is actually a massive, glaring red flag.
Really?
Yeah. If there is no clear way to mechanically check the result, you failed step 1.
You mean the plan mode phase?
Exactly. It means the initial task was not framed clearly enough.
Oh, I see.
If success cannot be measured or verified by a tool, then the AI is just guessing. And we already know how dangerous guessing is.
Right. If the AI can't check its work, your initial goal wasn't clearly defined.
Precisely. Verification has to be baked into the actual setup. It cannot be an afterthought you tack on at the end. Sponsor.
So your AI is now self-verifying its own beautiful work. Things are moving fast.
Really fast.
Because it's moving fast, you might be extremely tempted to run 5 sessions at once.
Oh, sure.
You want to speed things up even more. But here's exactly why you shouldn't do that.
Running parallel sessions on the exact same file is a catastrophic mistake.
You end up with what Boris calls context collision, which is simply AI confusion from multiple sessions editing identical files.
Think of it this way. It's like handing 2 separate contractors the exact same half-finished kitchen remodel.
Okay, that sounds bad already.
You blindfold them both, and you do not tell either one what the other is doing.
So one is installing cabinets while the other is tearing down the wall.
Yep.
Instead of accelerated progress, you just get overlapping chaos.
Right, and you are the one who ends up untangling those contradictory code merges at 11 p.m.
Ouch.
The AI models overwrite each other's logic because they don't share a real-time brain.
The elegant solution here is to use fresh, independent sessions, but you strictly only use them for distinct silos.
Maintaining clean context is a developer superpower. A clean, focused context window spots incredibly simple solutions. Those solutions get completely lost in crowded, noisy chats.
So you might dedicate one isolated session entirely to documentation, you use another separate session for the core logic,
Right.
and another strictly for edge cases.
You isolate the variables.
But wait, where exactly is the line between a distinct silo and just another part of the exact same task?
It all comes down to the final product destination.
Okay.
If the two sessions are trying to edit the exact same code block, that is a collision waiting to happen.
Makes sense.
But if one session is writing the core script and the other is writing a separate README file, that is a perfectly distinct silo.
Keep their jobs completely separate, and they won't step on each other's toes.
Divide and conquer. But keep the territories completely segregated.
That brings us beautifully to our final major shift. This is the ultimate overarching goal of the 2026 workflow.
We are finally moving from a manual day-to-day grind to long-term skill-based leverage.
Most people still use AI as a disposable conversational chatbot.
They write a long prompt, they get a decent answer, they close the window,
Yeah.
and they start completely over from scratch tomorrow.
It keeps you eternally stuck in manual mode.
Yes.
You're just pulling levers every single day.
Exactly.
The real paradigm shift is turning your repeat work into a repeatable skill.
Think about basketball.
Okay.
A prompt is telling a player exactly how to dribble the ball down the court every single time.
Right.
A skill is just calling a designated, heavily practiced play from the sideline.
That is a brilliant way to picture it. You define the complex skill once, and you securely store it.
And then the AI fundamentally inherits your specific project DNA every single time it wakes up.
Wow.
It instantly knows exactly how we do things around here. It knows the coding standards, the formatting quirks, the preferred libraries.
You're building infrastructure, not just sending text messages. Beat. But you also never want to bet against the model itself.
Never. Betting against the model's trajectory is the worst strategic mistake you can make right now.
The article stresses this heavily. Do not spend countless hours optimizing tiny, fragile prompt tricks for today's specific limitations.
Because underlying AI models are improving at a staggering rate right now. Those little quirks and limitations you're hacking around, they will simply vanish in the very next model update.
You should invest your energy in durable systems, better context management, and tighter iteration loops instead.
You want to build architecture that actually survives the next major AI release.
But if the underlying models are improving so rapidly, won't our documented skills become obsolete just as fast as our fragile prompts?
Not if you build them correctly.
Okay.
Good systems and clear logical instructions actually scale beautifully with the model's intelligence.
That makes sense.
When the model gets smarter, your system just runs faster and makes fewer errors. Clever prompt hacks, on the other hand, just break immediately when the model updates.
Build structured workflows that scale rather than relying on fragile, temporary prompt hacks.
Yes, you are literally building an operating system. You are not compiling a collection of magic spells.
Let's synthesize this entire journey for a moment. Mastering Claude Code isn't about being a wizard engineer with secret knowledge.
It's really not about having the secret magical list of prompts saved in a document.
It is entirely about architectural discipline. You absolutely must plan the logic before you start building.
Keep your standing rules incredibly lean and minimal.
Verify all of your outputs with automated self-checking loops.
Silo your parallel tasks strictly to avoid nasty context collisions.
And finally, systemize your repeat manual work into highly durable skills. Less wizard, more operating system.
It is remarkably simple. It isn't flashy at all, but it actually works reliably at scale.
So here is your actionable call to action for today. Go into your project and delete your bloated CLAUDE.md file right now.
Seriously, just burn it down. Start completely fresh.
And try starting your very next development project in plan mode. Let the models argue about your logic before you build. 2-sec silence. I want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought today.
Something to really chew on while you work.
If the gold standard right now is manually systemizing your repeat work into these stored skills, into these stored skills, what happens in the very near future? What happens when the AI starts silently analyzing your daily terminal behavior to suggest and build its own skills without you even asking?
Oh, it is absolutely coming. The machine will inevitably learn exactly how you work just by watching you.
We started today by saying build the thing is a dangerous trap. Someday, very soon, the AI might already know exactly how to build the thing before you even type a single word. OTRO music.